Today we have decided to have the puja of Shri Krishna. We have many a times done this puja and have understood the essence of Shri Krishna's advent, which was 6,000 years back. And now, what his manifestation was, what he wanted to be accomplished, has to be done in this Kali Yuga. As it is, this Kali Yuga is going into a new realm of Satyuga, but in between there is Kruta Yuga, where this Brahma Chaitanya, or we can say the all-pervading power of God's love, is going to act. At this time, what is going to happen with Shri Krishna's powers? This is what we have to see. Shri Krishna, as I told you, was the incarnation also of diplomacy. So he plays around quite a lot, and ultimately he brings forth the untruth and the falsehood. But in doing that, he judges. It's very important that Shri Krishna's powers of his diplomacy were to be manifesting at this time when it is the last judgment. So now, whatever we have done wrong before, whatever karmas which have been done in ignorance maybe, or maybe deliberately, all of them will be paid back. Those punyas which you have done in previous life, this life, will be also rewarded. This is all done through Shri Krishna's principles of collectivity, where he collectively sees the situation. For example, as I told you last time also, that Columbus luckily went to America. Luckily. So we were saved, otherwise we would not have been here. And then these Spanish people, bullfighters, they went and started fighting the poor, unarmed people who were just very simple owners of that land. But they went and occupied those lands and killed every one of them. So in America you can't find anyone, no doubt. But even in South America, you have to go to Colombia or to Bolivia, to great heights, to see some aboriginals there. Otherwise, most of them are finished. So now in Kruta Yuga, all these diseases have started cropping up. But the best part is the drug addiction. These drugs are made, for your information, in Bolivia and in Colombia. You drove them down there, so now you have the drugs, and very nicely you are very welcoming them. People went in Nicaragua to help them and brought back all these horrible drugs to Washington. And in every elite society, they are just discussing which is the best drug, where is the Ceylon, and where should they buy the drugs. So all of America is now worried how much drug they can import and kill themselves and destroy themselves. So this destruction has started from inside. Then in addition to that, when I went there first, I told them not to indulge into these Freudian practices, but keep to morality Otherwise, you'll have problems. So they had first AIDS, secondly, now Yuppies disease, and all kinds of secret diseases there. Among 10 people, there would be at least one person who is suffering from that. And among 20 people, there will be at least one person who must be suffering from schizophrenia. Because they made every person, every other country nervous. So now, they are getting schizophrenia. Like this, we can see even in England. Now, in England, they came to India as traders, ordinary traders, and plundered us completely, no doubt, ruled us for 300 years. As I say, it's gracious hospitality they had. And then they left us in 3 pieces. And now, in their own country, they have problems, all kinds. First of all, nobody wants to call themselves as English. They all call themselves as Welsh or Scots, or especially the Irish. And there is always a bomb scare in London. Every time, for our first program also, there was a bomb scare. So you can imagine these English who tried to divide us are automatically divided among them and now fighting each other. But there are other problems also, like AIDS and immoral life, everything. Same with the French. French tried to sell their wine all over and bring their horrible bathroom culture everywhere. Now they are suffering from it. For example, most of the time they are drunk and they have lost all moorings. I mean, they have no sense left in their heads. Like a housewife could be a prostitute, allowed by law. All such things are happening. Now they are paying. And the worst that they are paying, all these countries who think no end of themselves, are recession. This is also Shri Krishna's power, because he is Kubera. He is the one who is the power of wealth. He gave lot of wealth to all these countries. And now they don't know what to do with themselves. We can see in these 50 years how many things have happened, but especially these 20 years have been really remarkable. All over the world you can find out there has been some sort of a complete change or an exposure. Even in Italy you see every day this Vatican is exposed, or some mafia connections are there, or this, what you call, people from the government are exposed. I am doing nothing, I am just sitting here. But it was working out that way. Since I have been here, I don't know how many people have gone to jail. God knows. I don't know, she's not brought my throat last year. I had a bath early in the morning, so a little bit. This Shri Krishna is trying to fill me up. We Indians are also suffering because our past deeds, like we had a caste system. So now the caste system has become the greatest headache for us in India. That's the greatest cancer for us. Like that, everywhere, these 20 years or 21 years have been, I don't know, because morning, also reaction on me. So like that in every country, you'll see gradually, every country will have to face for what it has done. Also, Shri Krishna's own style was that he never believed in caste system. He himself was born in a caste which is what you call is a milkman's caste. And then he became a king, of course, but to begin with. And he lived like an ordinary person. He used to take the cows outside, look after them, and bring them home. Now, if you see his life, you'll find he is absolutely very human. The way he used to tease his mother, tease other ladies, all this is extremely human and childlike and extremely sweet. But behind that also there was a great significance. For example, Sri Radha, as you know, she was Mahalakshmi. And as Mahalakshmi, she used to put her feet, take bath in the river Yamuna. And the ladies would take water from the same river, carry on their head the pitchers. Now, Shri Krishna wanted to raise their kundalini. So he used to hit them from the back so that the water falls on their back and that vibrated water would raise their kundalini. This was his childish trick, but it had a meaning. Another one, when we see him in a Ras, Ra means energy, Radha, Ra is energy, Dha means the one who sustains. So it is Radhaji who had the energy, Sa means with. So when they played Ras, was nothing but to play with the energy. And that's how he wanted to have a collective awakening of people, of Gop and Gopis, and he did it. But then he had to leave and fight this Kamsa. In his own lifetime, as a child or grown up, he punished all kinds of devils and women, devils who were like Putna and all. He did it. And in this Kali Yuga also he is active. You have seen how gradually he has finished so many false gurus, one by one. Somebody who called himself Shri Krishna, somebody called himself as God, something else. He finished them all, exposed them nicely. And now we have very few people in the arena left for us to fight. They themselves are trembling and they are quite frightened of us because we are standing on truth. So now when we have to think about Shri Krishna who is residing in our Vishuddhi Chakra. Many people have this problem of left Vishuddhi. That is because we are more sort of very social people. Now in the Western society, the social system is so rigid that anybody can collapse with that. Or used to be, now better because of the maybe the revolt, anti-culture. But otherwise, if you could put one spoon from here to there, then you are finished. If you start your food with, say, not with a fish knife, but with an ordinary knife, then you are finished, you are no good. And these French had made even much worse by using a big science out of alcohol. For this alcohol, this is the glass, for that alcohol, that is the glass and all. So the whole collective was made so rigid. It's much more rigid than in India. I used to think Indian collective is quite rigid because of certain conditionings we have. But after coming to the West, I was surprised that it is such a conditioning in the heads of the people that some of the conditionings you cannot remove. Say from Catholic Church you might say, or from wherever it is. But when it comes from somebody like Freud, who was absolutely a devil, they just give up all these conditionings and take to that. I cannot understand any country where there is Catholic Church so predominant, they are following Freud. So, this collective rigidity which was then, because maybe Sri Rama was a very formal person. Because of him, maybe the collective rigidity might have been in India. But in the West, it is all mental. It's absolutely mental. If you make this kind of hair, then you are all right. If you put oil, then you are absolutely lunatic. All kinds of funny ideas were given, and people started doing like this. If you don't put oil at all, you will become bald. If you become bald, then they will have a business of their wigs. So the whole thing was money oriented. And everything was made so fixed that you had to do it so that they could sell their things. England was, as you know, is tailcoat. You have to wear a tailcoat if you have to see the Queen. I don't know why you have to wear a tailcoat to see the Queen, but it's compulsory. And if you don't wear, then you are not allowed. So they have to borrow these tailcoats and all that from one shop, which can be tight, which can be loose, and everybody looks like Charlie Chaplin too. They can't walk straight. So, this kind of stupid rigidity that came into the West has really made them very nervous. People are so nervous here. If you tell some lady that I'm going to come and have food with you, she will collapse. God knows what she thinks. I mean, it is caring for the public opinion or her own conditioning. But in an Indian housewife, if you tell her you are going to come, she'll be the happiest person. She'll be very happy that you are coming to her house for dinner. But here, even if you say, I would like to come and see you in the evening, they'll say, all right, come in the pub. Because they're so nervous. They are not sure of themselves. And this has come, I think, perhaps from these norms that they have been created in the West. In India also we had lots of these ritualism that came up very serious. Like we had people, Chinese, who would pick up their hair with their hands. They are not supposed to use any knives or any scissors or any barbers. So they were supposed to pick up their hair on their own. So from their beard, from their this thing, they would pick up all the time. That went to such a horrible conditioning that they would say that even if you breathe, then you might consume some animals. So they would put some sort of a cloth before their mouth and all kinds of nonsense they did. At that time, Shri Krishna came. His own cousin was a Tirthankara. You will be surprised, Neminath. He became a Tirthankara. And that made Shri Krishna think about it. That this kind of stupid ritualism that we have, like in the morning, women will get up in their sleep, they will go put some water for Tulsi, do this thing, that thing, throw water here and there, and also untouchables and touchables, and you can't take water from this, you can't eat this, you can't move like that, all kinds of restrictions. Timing, everything. This time is not good, that time is not good, this you should not do, that you should not do. To such an extent that the whole movement of our country was around these rituals. I had nephews who used to come to Bombay for their work. Every time they went to Lucknow, they would come with shaven heads. I said, what's the matter? He said, there are many people in our family who are old, and when they die, we have to shave our heads. So every time they went, somebody died, so they came with shaven heads. Like that, such horrible rituals existed, and even now in the South India, a lot of rituals are there, terrible rituals. And they cannot get out of it, they are frightened. If they get out of it, then they might be sinners or they will go to hell. So the Indian conditioning was, as far as these rigidities were concerned, for religion. To be on the right side, to be on the in such a way that we should not be caught up without doing this. So early in the morning they'll get up and do the rituals just without even thinking about them what they are. But in the West, the lifestyle is nothing but rigidity. The whole lifestyle is, there's no freedom anywhere. And all that then was revolted by these hippies and other people and all of them, and they fought it, and that thing went to another extreme. So from one extreme to another extreme. Now how Shri Krishna's advent changed it. When Shri Krishna came on this earth, he said, this is all a leela. It is just a play. Because you are involved into it, you cannot see the play. But if you ascend, if you are in the water, you are afraid of the water. But if you get into the boat, you can see the water. And if you know how to swim, you can even save the people who are in the water. So he says that if you develop a witness state, Sakshi Swarupata, if you develop that state, then you see the whole thing as a drama. Nothing affects you. Nothing matters. You don't worry about anything. You see the problem above. You are, and you see the problem, and because you are out of it, you can solve the problem. This was his great advent, I would say, that has taught the first step towards the ascent is that you have to become a Sakshi. You have to become the witness. Now let's see in Sahaja Yoga. In Sahaja Yoga, there are different types of people come from different areas, from different cultures, because the door is open to everyone. Now, if an Indian comes in, he will be all the time watchful about others and will say that, Mother, this man is not doing this man is not doing that, he should have done foot soaking. He'll find faults with others all the time, saying that this man is not doing like this and But in the West, they start finding faults with them. And I receive letters, 10 to 12 pages sometimes, confessing what wrong they have done. Who is interested to know what wrongs we have done? I mean, if a lotus is born, nobody wants to know how many filthy things are inside the pond. You are now a lotus. But it's so common that they think we must confess. We must tell Mother what wrong we have done. Every moment you are changing. So what is there to confess? And the life is so formal, as I told you, that people suffer from guilt for anything. Apart from the influence of this Catholic Church has conditioned you so much that even if you are not a Catholic, you are a Protestant, still you have guilt. And as a guilt, you develop this left Vishuddhi. So then, this left Vishuddhi is Vishnu-maya. Means what? Once you have this left Vishuddhi, you develop all the problems of the Vishnu-maya. And one of them is the heart. Because Vishnu-maya is an active thing. She is like electricity. And if you have Vishnu-maya problem, then you become lethargic. Oh, I am so guilty. You become depressed. That Vishnu-maya principle disappears from you. She is the one who is quick, fast, and she gives the light and announces to the whole world what Shri Krishna is. What happens with such people, Sahajogis who come in, who feel guilty? They say, Mother, we thought that if we do this, then our ego will come up. If we do any work outside and work in some fields or in some villages, then our ego will come up. So we don't want to do it. This is absurd. It's like you give light to some light, and the light says that I don't want to give the light because maybe this light might develop an ego. It is absurd. But such absurd things Saj Yogis tell me. For them, one has to understand, to get out of this left Vishuddhi is to become absolutely dynamic in Saj Yoga. Go all out into Saj Yoga. Otherwise, they can't get rid of their left Vishuddhis. Left Vishuddhi is a thing that's a very depressive action on the whole being. And a person who has left Vishuddhi is always a very slow person to do anything for Saj Yoga. You have not been given light to hide it. Christ has said that you don't put light under the table. So you have been given light to work it out, to be dynamic, to think what to do, how to arrange, how to organize. But if you are guilty, then you will all the time say, oh, Mother, it's very difficult, this. Always you'll find the other side of the whole joke. Just to avoid. Now for a Saj Yogi is to witness himself, first of all. That is the introspection. He should see for himself. Where was I and I have come here? Don't indulge too much in the past, but see the distance you have crossed in such a short time. Now you have come into the kingdom of God. You have all the powers. I don't tell lies. It's a fact. I'll give you an example. My full Krang allows me to say that. Wolfgang was with me when we were traveling from Prague to Vienna. And the plane, you see, he told me that the plane is at 10:30, but it was at 9:30. It was a mistake. There can be mistake. Of course, that also Shri Krishna style. You can always do mistakes, doesn't matter. So we reached, why all these things happen? See, to create an event, a ghatana. So he was very upset about it, that he told me a wrong time and I reached there about 15 minutes late. And there was a ground hostess, horrible. She started shouting at me, saying all kinds of, it's not fair, you don't know, this, that, and everything. I just didn't bother about it because I knew that it was out of mistake, we've done it. And they could have taken away their plane instead of shouting, but they kept the plane and she shouted at me. Because she wanted to shout, you see. Then the plane was filled in with people. And it would not leave. So I asked the engineers, they said it has been like this for the half an hour, we are trying to correct it. It's like this. So it's all right. He said that you'll have to wait till we put it right. But because she shouted at me, Wolfgang was full of tears, you see. Just look at this German having so many tears in his eyes. Then Algas was telling him that it's all right, doesn't matter, it's not your mistake. He was feeling so sad that Mother has been insulted like this by this lady because of my mistake. His love. Now the power of his love was so great. At the same moment, there were so many, about 50 people, Saj Yogis standing on the balcony watching us. We also felt and they also felt, but they felt a tremendous cool breeze like a big blow came to them and blew upon them vibrations. And they just got enamored. And suddenly when they opened their eyes, what they find, the whole sky was filled with clouds. There was not a single cloud in 1 second. In 1 second, from where the clouds came, God knows. It was all completely filled with them. Then they asked us to get out because they could not do anything. So when we came back, it started raining. When we came in, he got after that lady, he said, now, whom are we to shout? We can't catch our planes now. And then they announced that all the flights are cancelled. So see the power of his love for his mother, that the whole sky couldn't bear it. You see, his eyes became the sky. And in a second they said, Mother, we have never seen such a miracle that there is not one single thing, and the whole thing was filled with it. So you must know your powers. That is what is, first of all, witness yourself, is the introspection. See for yourself how many powers you have got. Now with your left Vishuddhi, you will always conclude, oh, how can I have any powers after all? I have done this, I have done that. Even if you give somebody 100 pounds and you tell him that now you go to the market, buy something. He say, oh, what's the use of these 100 pounds, this, that. Use it. As simple as that. But then Sahaja start saying that, no, Mother says, but how can I have? How can I have these powers after all? It's not possible, I'm no good. Because that left Vishuddhi is all the time telling that you are good for nothing. It's like a leaking hole in your brain that takes away all the sense. And you accept it. So first thing is to introspect yourself and see for yourself how many powers you have got. Like in the beginning, no Sahaja would give realization in India. Nobody would even touch it. It so happened that my car failed and I was late 2 hours, luckily. And there was a big meeting and they didn't know what to do, so they started giving realization to people. And then they realized they can give realization. Otherwise they would not touch anyone. Now you know that, what you can do. You also know that whatever you say happens. Whatever you want, you can get it. Try. But if you don't do it, then you will be all the time half-baked. Take the experience of your powers. See how dynamic you are. Don't have formalities about it. Just use it fully and you will be amazed that you have so many powers. Somebody told me that, Mother, you have given a siddhi to widow. I have given siddhi to all of you. I never discriminate. But it's only he is very brave. He has used it left and right. He uses left and right. If you do not use your siddhis, what can I do? I have given you all the siddhis, no doubt about it. So try. Like in the beginning, Baba Mama told me that how can I write a poem? I feel like writing, but I am rather frightened because I could not even write an essay. I used to write essay for all my brothers, you see, when they were studying. Because I was very good at languages. But that's what he said, and now look at him. I told him, you go ahead and write, whatever you write. He said, I may write something wrong. It doesn't matter, write it. In the same way, somebody wants to paint something. One should not think how they will criticize or anything. Just paint. If you want to sing, just sing. If you want to do anything, any manifestation, just do it boldly. Go in a big way. You'll be amazed at yourself how you have achieved it and how you are doing it. It has worked with so many artists, you know that they told you about himself. And it's so many, they can tell you that this has happened to them. So now the first thing is to know that you have powers. Now believe in them. Have faith in yourself. If you have left Vishuddhi, this Vishnu Maya won't work out. But be like Vishnu Maya. Just give up this guilt. No, I am a Sahaja, I am not an ordinary person. People sometimes talk to me and I say, do you know what you are? What, Mother? You are a Sahaja. Oh, I forgot. Now go and do it. And another style of this left Vishuddhi is this, which one must understand, that it tries to give an explanation. As I told you many a time, you tell somebody that telephone to someone. First they will say, he may not be there, Mother. Baba, you telephone, first find out if he may be there or may not be there. But they would not. They would just avoid, and that is another thing. Vishnu Maya never avoids, you have seen that. Once she has to shine, she shines. Wherever she is, whatever she is. So in the same way, we have to be like that. We have to know that we are special people, we are chosen, we are angelic, and that we have entered into the kingdom of God, and it will all work out. Sahaja Yoga is not meant for useless people. As I told you in Marathi, Tukaram has said, "Idya gabaळ्याचे काम नव्हे." It's not meant for lunatics and lousy people. It's meant for somebody who has त्याला पाहिजे जातीचे. You need people of character. I know that there cannot be many like that, but there is no place in God's realm for many people, for all these useless people. It's only for something special. These seats are reserved, and you have got your realization now somehow. So now try to understand that this Vishnu Maya principle has to be expressed and has to be shown. And you introspect yourself, have I done that or not? Don't be afraid that they say that our ego will come. It doesn't matter. You will also see your ego. This is the second part of Shri Krishna's play, that in this Krita Yoga you see your ego. There was a lady who was rather not very kind to some Maharashtrian ladies. So I told her, you have got right side. She wouldn't believe. She came to see me in Rome and she fell down on the right side, completely. Then she realized that her right side was not all right. So to know that, whether you have a right or a left, that's a very good method, is of meditation. Now the third situation is that you must accept whatever is wrong with you. If you do not accept, then you are not being kind to yourself. That is the central part of it. That you must accept. Yes, this is something wrong with me. I have gone in this part, I am wrong of my Vishuddhi, or that part I am wrong. So now I have to improve. Now right Vishuddhi people will always try to correct me. I have seen it. It's very simple for them. If I say anything, no. First, different types no's there are. Sometimes no. Sometimes it is no, 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 no. They will contradict me or try to put their own idea. And then they discover that it was wrong. They should not have said it. Say, for example, if I say, I saw these things lying here. They said, no. I said, I saw with my own eyes. And once I see something, it's registered, so it's there. No. I said, all right, just try to find out. It's there. How is it we didn't see? I said, because your no was written on your eyes, I think you couldn't say anything. And then they'll pull their ears. That's the best. But if you see that this is a habit I have of saying no to things, so first of all, I also test you. Supposing I say, it is just now 9 o'clock in the night. You just say yes. Let's see what happens. Try to see. You see, I test you very many times like this. And then I see that some people, if I say so, all right. If it is so, if Mother has said, it is so. And then it starts building up their faith very well. I can see there clearly how they are coming into the realm of real faith. And there, when I say something absurd, they will just smile. They know it is Mother is just testing us, you see. So they will just smile. They won't do anything, but they'll just smile. And then, if it is so, and if they don't know, they'll say, yes, it must be. Mother must have done this or said so. So your testing time is there. You have to test yourself. As Muhammad Sahib has said, that your hands will speak and they'll give witness against you. So on your hands you will know. Now these hands are the blessings of Shri Krishna. They come out from the same Vishuddhi. And as you know, the pelvic nerve serves it on all that. And there are 2 chakras of one Lalita and another Sri chakras, all on these both sides. they also play into the hands of Shri Krishna. With these hands we can feel the vibrations. Now if your right Vishuddhi is too strong, you may not feel. If your left Vishuddhi is too strong, you may not feel. But that doesn't mean that you haven't got realization. You have got. You just work out your hands. Now for working your hands, you have to see that you don't use them for useless things. That's very important. Because you have special hands. These hands are the ones with which you spread the collectivity. Now for example, Italy example is. Here the people when they talk, they'll go on. I don't know anything what they are saying. They only know their own, all their gestures, and they only can depict. For a person who doesn't know that, they'll go on like this, all the time. So this should be reduced. There's no need to use your hands so much all the time, like this, like that. Little bit. But while using the hands also, it should be decent, it should be regulated, it should be very indicative and useful. Just showing off your hands is not good. It is some sort of a theory came out, I was told, that you must put your gestures into your hands and speak. It's all right for people like Hitler, but not for us. For us, we should be decent. We should, whenever we have to say, now for example, you want to point out something to someone, you should say, do this. This is Shri Krishna's finger, you can't use it like that. Just say, do, means supporting it. This looks better. These hands are to be used for collectivity. See, we say namaste when we meet others. To thousands of people we can say namaste. But I don't like the shaking hand business because it's no good. Shaking hands doesn't create any collectivity. On the contrary, you might get all kinds of pins and needles and all kinds of problems from others. But when you talk to people, also, with these hands only you can feel. With these hands only you can care your children. With these hands only you can suggest your softness, your sweetness, and also with the mouth, which is of course is a part of the Vishuddhi, that's different. But especially hands, your gesture should show very heartfelt emotions, and then only these gestures have some meaning. Now in Sahaja Yoga, as you know, you hold each other's hands and the vibration starts flowing among yourselves. And you can also hear the tabla on your throbbings. So that shows that they are the communication. So these hands, which are really the beginning of the collectivity. Most important, I would say the most important things are the hands which act for your collectivity. As far as you are concerned, there are many other angels and other ganas who are standing behind you. They also extend their help to you whenever you want to communicate something. They also do your jobs very well. So whatever is expressed in your hand or through your hand, they immediately pick up. As you know that Vishuddhi has 16 petals and all ear, nose, throat, eyes, all are guided by this. Also the subplexus of this Vishuddhi is this one, is a Hamsa Chakra. So we have these eyes to see, eyes to communicate. The pure eyes communicate pure love, purity. With the pure eyes, you can cleanse people. With the pure eyes, you can help others. You can bring peace. The purification of the eyes takes place through your Vishuddhi and Agya. Here both things have to work out. The nose is very important. Nose has to be pure in the sense that you should be able to discard whatever is smelling badly, and you should be able to accept whatever is fragrant. It's very important because nose is the speciality of Shri Krishna, I would say, in the sense that he is a Kubera, and the Kubera has given the nose to the goddess. Some people have a bad habit of moving their nose just to show disapproval or something like this. They go on doing like that. This is very wrong, because then you are insulting yourself. You are insulting your Kubera power. So you have to keep your nose in a dignified manner. It should be a dignified nose. It should not be used for doing something which is indignified or which expresses contempt. Then your teeth are very important. You have 32 teeth, see, 16 of Krishna's powers divided into, you can say, 32. These are your teeth on both the sides. The right side is on top and the left down below. That is one thing we neglect very much in the West, I must say. In India it is not. It's very much we neglect, and that's what we have to look after. The reason for neglect is that, I would say, is laziness, must be the laziness. But at least twice or thrice you must brush your teeth. It's important, that I need not say. But more important is to change the brush. Also, you have to use butter or salt and oil to rub your gums. If you rub your gums properly, you will never have problems with your teeth and your gums. Moreover, every time in the evening, you must again brush your teeth. I have seen many people who come to me in the evening in the program, such a horrible smell from their mouth comes out. It is not that it's a disease, but it is only thing is that they have not cleansed their teeth. Also, there are people who will not even brush their teeth and start eating breakfast. I don't know, this was another theory started, I think, that you can eat your food without brushing. Teeth are very important, and one must look after them. On the teeth depends all the qualities of your Vishuddhi. So one has to look after the teeth in a proper way and should never cleanse and never show temper with the teeth. It's a very bad habit. Also here is a gesture, I have seen that. If they don't like something, they just go on like this. It's a very wrong thing. One should avoid that kind of a gesture, and it's very dangerous for your teeth. So today's lecture is more sort of medical, I must say. A person who is spiritually endowed has an expression which can never be aggressive. He may not be good looking, he may not be very sort of an attractive personality, but the expression on the face is absolutely saintly. That is also the blessings of Shri Krishna. I have seen people after 1 year of realization, and I was surprised how their faces were changed that I could not recognize them who they were. The whole thing becomes absolutely mild, soft, peaceful, and very joyous. All the qualities of Shri Krishna can be expressed on your face. You can be sometimes mischievous to look at. So many expressions there are which come on the face and give you a very sweet feeling. But some people have a habit of looking in the mirror all the time, which is very wrong. because it gives you a kind of a funny ego. It's better to look at Shri Krishna's photograph than to look at your own faces, so that your face will become like that of Shri Krishna. Instead of you start looking in the mirror all the time, what will become of you, God knows, because if you go to your past, God knows what will become. So also I am thankful to psychiatrists that they don't like narcissism. But it's very dangerous to all the time watch your face in the mirror. Very dangerous. It creates a very funny personality that you start telling yourself, oh, I'm Napoleon, so you become Napoleon. And start behaving like Napoleon. Next day you find when Napoleon walks out of the bathroom. So one has to be careful not to pay so much attention and importance to your own self, but to yourself which is within, which is your spirit. And if you look after that side, then all these things will happen in such a beautiful manner. Also the hair are looked after by Shri Krishna. Now, you see, you know that he's very fond of anything that is like butter. So you have to put either butter or oil or something in your hair. If you don't put it, you will become bald. It is after all a karma phal. If you don't put oil, you will become bald. So you have to put oil, and oil was put always before in the West. I see all these old films and all that, they are all oil people. But now, of course, if you don't want to put oil, the daytime you can wash it off, or at least once a week you must oil your hair. Shri Krishna's star is Saturn, Shani. They say that if he gets after somebody, then nobody can be saved. If Shri Krishna gets after someone, then nobody can be saved. In the same way, if Saturn gets after someone, then that person is finished. So we say sometimes it is 7 years he is after you, sometimes 2.5 years after you. So this Saturn of Shri Krishna is a quality within us, that supposing if somebody troubles us or does something, we don't have to do anything. Now this Shri Krishna policy, we can say the Shri Krishna's nature will work it out. It will inform this all-pervading power. And through that, this man or this woman or this party or this organization which is trying to trouble us will be hounded, while we will be just sitting doing nothing. They'll be just hounded till they jump in the sea. Automatically it will happen. But you have to know that you have the powers of Shri Krishna, by which if he gets after someone, then nobody can save them. He is the last one who plays around, but he doesn't forgive. He doesn't believe in forgiveness. He says, now, you had enough of it. He gives a big long rope to hang yourself, but he never forgives. One thing for definite, he never forgives. As you must have seen in Mahabharata, his own judgment of things which he doesn't forgive. He says you have to pay. You have to pay for it. Except when you transcend. If you become a Sahajogi, if you have transcended Vishuddhi, then he cannot do anything like that to you. But if you have not, if there is no ascent, you cannot be saved. You cannot be saved from him. They say once Muhammad Ghazni came to loot our country. It's a story about the village folk. And he looted Somnath, a big temple of ours, which had lots of gold, jewelry, everything in it. So these Brahmins were, taking money from all these people and looting them and putting them in the temple and using them, and the rest of the people were very poor. So it was sort of a reaction in them, and the story they tell like this. So this Muhammad Ghazni looted Somnath, is the temple of Mahadeva. Now Mahadeva never needs any ornaments or anything, but they had put this there. So Hanumana saw that Mahadeva got out of the temple and was running. So Hanumana ran after. Then at one point Mahadeva sat down and Hanumana came. He said, "You are the god of gods. Why are you running? What are you afraid of?" He said, "You don't know this Muhammad Ghazni?" He said, "No, I don't know." "All right, hide behind a tree." They hid behind a tree. So this Muhammad Ghazni came and sat down. This is the folklore, folk people tell. Sat down under that tree and turned into Shri Krishna. He said, "This horrible thing, if he gets after someone, who can be saved? Under my nose, these Brahmins were making money and all that, putting it in Somnath temple, which was not to be done. I couldn't do anything, so he came. And with this fellow after me, I cannot be saved either, so I am running away from the temple." So this is the story given by the villagers, but which shows that if Sri Krishna is after somebody, then nobody can save that person. He has to run away. Because he has so many tricks and so many styles that you can't get out of it. He'll use his brains in so many manners, and that he'll put that person right who is trying to trouble you. So you must have complete faith in the powers of Shri Krishna, which is within yourself, which is being aware. And also, if you have ascended fully out of this, then he will not trouble. But if you have left Vishuddhi, he will trouble you, definitely. If you have left Vishuddhi, Shri Krishna will definitely trouble you. And be careful. So get rid of your left Vishuddhis now. That's very important. Because then Shri Krishna will take your test and will make you so miserable that you will not know why. "Mother, you see, I did this puja, I did this, till they see now this is the situation in my family, this is what happened." All right. Are you a Catholic? Yes. Feel guilty? Yes. So have it. What can I do? Sri Krishna cannot be controlled by anyone. He does whatever he thinks proper, and he is meant to really punish much more than the mother, I get it. They say that she is Ati Raudra, Ati Saumya. She is the one who is very hard and also very, very soft. But up to a point, he is not. Nothing can convince him. Once you get into his control, then he'll see to it that you are put right. Left, right, anyway, he'll make you all right. So one thing is there, that you should be sure that you should have your Vishuddhis all right, first of all, and also get Sri Krishna manifesting on others. You don't have to do anything. He'll look after you, everything, and work it out. But left Vishuddhi is a disease of the West. I also feel so much from you all that I sometimes feel like running away to India, because in India nobody feels guilty. They don't believe in feeling guilty. What is there? We have not murdered anyone. Why should we feel guilty? Here it is a disease with everyone. I feel guilty. I don't know who has introduced this idea. Maybe this Catholic Church, but carried too far. So then we come to the Virata's point, is here. Before that we have to cross the Hamsa. Without that you cannot reach the Virat point. So Hamsa is, as you know very well, is the discretion, divine discretion, which must be within you. Once you develop that, then you don't commit mistakes. You never commit mistakes. Mistakes in the sense you don't do things which are again pushed back on you or for which you have to pay. It's just a very straightforward life. It's so. With this discretion, absolutely you have a complete understanding as to what has to be done, what not to be done. And if that is established, that discretion is established, in many Sahajogis, I must say, discretion has come even with the left Vishuddhi. Even if they have left Vishuddhi, they have this discretion. They know what is right and what is wrong. With that divine discretion, the first thing that happens is that people get impressed by you. It's real collectivity. It impresses the collectivity. A person who has divine discretion, people immediately see the wisdom of that person and think, see now, this man, how could he be? He's so young, how could he be? He's such a child, how could he be? So this divine discretion, which is the, here, Hamsa Chakra's speciality, when it starts manifesting, then automatically you impress the collectivity. This is a very important point one has to know. While introspecting yourself, you just see if you have developed this quality of divine discretion or not. For example, there are many I have seen when they come to the program, they come and tell me, Mother, some Sahajogi told me that you have a bhoot. Have I got a bhoot in you? I said, not at all. How can there be any bhoot in you? He may be happy. But the divine discretion is not to tell him just now, but to remove it. So divine discretion gives you a complete understanding. What is the way to handle another personality? What is the way to handle a collective? How to talk to others? How to impress on them the right things? It's a very, very expansive manifestation in so many directions. If you have no divine discretion, you start speaking what you should not speak. You start saying at a time when you should not say. I mean, you'll have no sense at all of any direction. So to have divine discretion is very important, for which, as you know, Hamsa Chakra physically as well, mentally and also spiritually must be kept all right. In my Hansas, we had one puja where I talked about it. The last is the Virat. That is the state you have to reach. The Virat is here in front, as you know. And I was surprised when I went to Nepal, which is a temple of Shiva there. Despite they were worshipping Shiva, they are putting all the kumkum here. So I thought that they don't know why they are putting. Because even if you worship Shiva, you must also worship here the Virat. They don't put it here. Because they are absolutely 100% only Shiva worshippers. So why should they put it here? Because somebody who knows, who was Gnostic, has told them that this is the place of Virat. Once you get into Virat, then all your ideas of separating or differentiating goes on. You do not have any more ideas of races left, of nationality, of your city, of your village or anything. At that stage, you don't belong to any place. You belong to every place and you don't belong to every place. Such a situation comes in when you don't hanker after any particular food, you don't like any particular type of people. You can adjust yourself into any circumstances, into any families, into any kind of people. You can live with drunkards. I mean, I have lived with drunkards. Lived means I've shaken hands at least with so many of them. You can be with any kind of person. Nothing bothers you because you are in the Virat state. Because everything is absorbed by the Virat and you do not feel anything. Whatever sort of person may be, you do not feel it. The Virat has to suffer, not you. And that is what is the best state where I want all of you to reach and to become absolutely free. Nothing can impress you, nothing can influence you, nothing can dissuade you. But you stand on your self-esteem and understanding about yourself that you are a Sahajogi and that you are connected with this power and you are a citizen of Kingdom of God. At the Virat state, there is no doubt left. no doubt. Because you become part and parcel of the whole. Absolutely, and you can affect anywhere. If this finger is hurt, then this finger can feel it. In the same way, such a person is felt everywhere. And not only that, but that person can be effective everywhere. For that state of reaching to Virat, one should try to slowly, gradually, yan neti neti vachaneli gavavachus. You have to go and say, this is not my sister, this is not my brother. They are all my brothers, they are all my sisters. I love them the same as my sisters and my brothers. This is not my family. The whole Saj Yoga is my family. The whole attention should move like that. This is not only mine. It is everybody's. It belongs to everybody. Everybody has a right. That sort of a thing, when it starts growing from individual, what we call is the Veshti to Samashti. In Sanskrit they said Veshti to Samashti, from individual to collective. And such a personality then is the most effective one for any kind of collective work. I think for today it's quite sufficient for you to know about Vishuddhi Chakra. I mean, I have talked about it thousands and thousands of times. And now this is one of the sides which I wanted to say, because I find that still there are people who do not understand that they have to rise above Vishuddhi. Otherwise, if they do not ascend over Vishuddhi, they can never be proper surgeons. They will be always half-baked. So we must try to rise above the Vishuddhi, the discretion part. Then at that point we can never doubt surgery. Can never doubt, and that's how the doubtless awareness can come to us. May God bless you.